Other qualification is related to the certificate courses. If you have done any short term course and you have the certificate with you, then you can mention it. Otherwise, you cannot. So, if you have done any, suppose, course such as diploma in computer applications. For example, I have completed diploma in computer application from ABC Institute. So, if you have a certificate, if you have actually completed the course and you have a certificate, then you can definitely tell about your other qualification as well. And if not, then you're not supposed to say that I don't have any other qualification. Whenever you are introducing yourself, you are not supposed to say any negative thing. Okay, so if you don't have, you just don't include it, and if you have, then definitely you can include it. So regarding the other qualification, if you don't have any certificate, if you have not completed any course, if you have not done any certificate course, then that's okay. You have a lot of time, so you can just exclude the point. And if you have done a certificate course, then you can definitely include it. Okay, then as I had said regarding your family, what how you have to say is, if there is there are a lot of members in your family, then you have to tell the total number of family members. And if you live in a nuclear family, if it's a small family, then you can definitely say about each one of them, like I have my parents and my brother back at home. And if there are a lot of people in your family, then just stick to the total number of family members. Like I have 6 members in my family, I have 7 members in my family, I have 10 members in my family. That's it. You don't have to tell everything about your family. If the other person asks you separately about your family, that tell me something about your family, then definitely you can explain. But when you are giving your introduction, so you don't have to tell everything about your family, it's not necessary. You can just tell the total number of family members. And as I had said, that if it's a small family, then you can just mention the uh, relationships, like I have my parents and my brother back at home. All right. Next, hobby. If you have one hobby, then you are supposed to say it in this way: my hobby is. If you have only one hobby, then you are supposed to use the verb is. Okay, my hobby is, suppose, gardening. All right, my hobby is gardening. If you have two or more than two hobbies, then you are supposed to use the verb are. My hobbies are. And you can name your hobbies. Now, whenever you are telling about your hobbies, make sure that you do not say something silly. You are not supposed to say things such as I like to sleep, my hobby is sleeping, my hobby is eating, my hobby is gossiping, my hobby is watching TV. No, these are very silly things, all right? So that is why you shouldn't say these silly things. You should say something that is logical and that is good, all right? So you might like to sleep, you might like to eat, you might be a foodie, but you cannot say that as your hobby, all right? So even if you like to do that particular thing, even if you like to eat or sleep, that's okay, but you're not supposed to say it as your hobby. You have to say something that sounds logical, all right? So you can say things such as gardening, singing, dancing, whatever you like to do, but it should be something logical. Don't say hobbies such as, don't say things such as sleeping, eating, gossiping, chatting, then watching TV. So don't say this kind of hobbies. You can say anything that you like, but apart from these things, okay, these silly things. So you can say gardening, singing, then reading books, reading novels, then listening to music, cooking, whatever you like to do. Do not say playing PUBG. All right, I have come across a lot of students who say that their hobby is playing PUBG. So, no, this is also another silly hobby. You're not supposed to say these kind of hobbies, all right? Then work experience, you all are freshers, you all are just in the first semester, so there's no work experience, there's no internship, you have not completed any more internship. Later on, when you will do internship, when you'll start working, when you'll complete projects, then you can add this particular part. But for time being, because you do not have any work experience, you have not done any internship, so you can just uh, exclude it, all right? You don't say that I don't have any work experience or something like that, I have not done any internship or something like that. Do not use any words such as no, not, okay, and no negative words should be used. You must say only about those things which are there, which are present, which you have already done, okay? So regarding work experience, of course you don't have any work experience, you're in the first semester, so just avoid that point, do not include that point. Then you can also tell something regarding your interest or skill, or something that you consider to be your strength. You can also mention that is also kind of optional when you give your introduction, so that is also kind of optional, so it's not necessary, but in case you are whenever you will be facing an interview later on in life, then definitely you have to take care of these things, you have to include these things. But for time being, it's optional. Your interest, your skill, or your strength, that part is also optional, but it's good if you can tell something related to your interest or skill or your strength, okay? So just try to understand what is your interest, or your what is what you're good at, what, or or anything that you consider to be your strength, so you can express that as well. Now when you're done with all these points, then you're supposed to say thank you and end the introduction, all right? So you should not leave it without telling the thank you. You should use the thank you to end the introduction, all right? So that's all regarding the introduction. So do not forget, I had shared the PPT. Please go through the PPT and please make sure that you practice the introductory part, so that later on when somebody asks you to give your introduction, so that you're not confident, or so that you're not scared, all right? You must be able to give your introduction in a confident manner, in a very good way, because I have already taught you how to do this. I have already given you the points that you need to include when you give your introduction. And now what you have to do is you have to just practice. You need to edit this information and you need to just practice. My name is, so tell your name, then hometown I am from. So I am just going to read this introduction. So how are you supposed to tell when you're giving your introduction? So you'll get a brief idea about this. My name is Priya Singh. I am from Jorhat. I've completed MA in English in 2019 from Guwahati University. I have 5 members in my family. My hobbies are gardening and singing. I am a fast learner and also passionate about learning new things. Thank you so much. So, this is the basic way of introducing yourself. Am I clear with this? And also, another thing I would just like to tell you is that courses such as MA, BA, MSc, MCom, these are common. Everybody knows about these courses, isn't it? But B Farm is something that people might not know. What is B Farm? So that is why you are supposed to use the full form, Bachelor of Pharmacy. You are supposed to use the full form of the course. Now, MA is something everybody knows. We have all heard about MA since our childhood, isn't it? So MA is something that everybody is aware of. What is this course? Then MA, BA, MBA, these are very common courses. So people know about these courses. But if you are going to say B Farm, people might not understand what is B Farm. All right. So that is why you can just use the full form of the course. That is Bachelor of Pharmacy. So this is the basic way of telling your of giving your introduction. Am I clear? And if you have any doubts regarding personal introduction, then you can ask me, let me know, all right? Because this personal introduction is a very important part of your curriculum and in general as well. All right. So now I will be discussing about dress code. So let's start. Dress code is a set of rules which is related to clothing. All right. It is a set of rules that is related to clothing. So, in places such as schools, universities, colleges, offices, there is a set of rules which is related to clothing. You need to follow the rules and regulation of that particular school, of that particular institute or university, or the organization, company, office. You need to follow the rules and regulations, and accordingly, you need to dress up. You cannot just wear anything and everything and attend your classes or attend your office. All right. So, there are certain rules and regulations uh, for wearing clothes, especially in case of schools, colleges, educational institutions, and workplaces. All right. So I'm sure all of you have seen that doctors, they have a particular way of dressing up, isn't it? They have their uniforms. Nurses, they have their uniforms. Lawyers, they have a uniform. They have to wear a they have to, wear a certain uniform. They cannot attend the court without wearing that uniform. So most of the professionals, they have to, in most of the professions, people have to follow a certain dress code. People have to wear uniform. All right, and in universities, in schools, in colleges, we do have uniforms, isn't it? And you cannot wear your jeans and come to the university. You cannot wear uh, lehenga choli to your school, isn't it? So you have to wear the uniform and attend the classes. You have to wear the uniform and go to the university or go to your school. You have to maintain the dress code of the organization of the company. In some professions, there is a particular dress code, that is, there is a uniform. Whereas in others, there's no uniform, but there are certain rules and regulations associated with the clothes that the employees are allowed to wear. All right. Now, what is the purpose and importance of dress code? Why do you need a set of rules uh, related to clothing? Why you cannot wear anything that you like to? So there's a uniform, there is a dress code in every organization or every institution in order to maintain a professional image, and it also carries a message along with it. So it definitely maintains a professional image, and also there's a message that is associated with your uniform. So when people will see you in the uniform of Assam Downtown University, so they'll come to recognize you. They'll easily come to recognize you that yes, he or she is a student of Assam Downtown University, isn't it? When you see a person wearing white shirt and then black suit, that means you can assume that that person is a liar, isn't it? So every profession has their own set of uniforms and has their own set of rules of dressing up. All right. Now, few things I would just like to say is regarding the outfit. All right, just look at this one very carefully. Now, regarding the shirt, your shirt must have collar. So, I'll be talking about the formal outfits, all right? Regarding traditional or casual wear, whatever you want to wear, you can wear in your personal life. But whenever you attend your classes or whenever you go to your office, there are only some colleges and there are only some offices where you don't have to follow a certain dress code, where you can wear anything and everything that you want to. But in most of the organizations and institutions, you have to follow a certain dress code. All right, so you have to wear formal. Either it's a uniform or the uniform is also formal. And if even if you're not wearing a uniform, then you have to wear something that is formal. All right, now here you have a uniform, so you have to wear the uniform, isn't it? And you have to stitch it in this way. Your shirt must have collars. You cannot wear a shirt without collars, or it should be preferably it should be with full sleeves, full buttons, and then it should be properly ironed and clean. All right, regarding formal wear, if it's not a uniform, then you can pick up light color shirts for yourselves, light and single color shirt. Okay. Now, this is the type of pen that you're supposed to wear. Okay. It should be of your shoe length, boot length. Your socks must not be visible when you stand. Okay. And the pockets should not be loaded with a lot of stuff. So, this is the type of pen that you should wear. And this is basically the design. If you're stitching it for yourself, then make sure that you do not make it too skinny or too loose. Then your shoes are supposed to be like this. All right, your shoes are supposed to be like this. You must have try to buy a pair of shoes which has lace on it. All right. Okay, then I will be discussing about dress code in the next class again, because we don't have time now. So I will be discussing about the same topic in the next class.